Hello again. This is another devotional. This one is for Monday on our week about oil. And this one is entitled Out of Oil. And it's based on Matthew chapter 25, verses 1 through 13. Then the kingdom of heaven will be like this. 10 bridesmaids took their lamps and went to meet the bridegroom. 5 of them were foolish and 5 were wise. When the foolish took their lamps, they took no oil with them. But the wise took flasks of oil with their lamps. As the bridegroom was delayed, all of them became drowsy and slept. But at midnight there was a shout, "Look, here is the bridegroom. Come out to meet him." Then all those bridesmaids got up and trimmed their lamps. The foolish said to the wise, "Give us some of your oil, for our lamps are going out." But the wise replied, "No, there will not be enough for you and for us. You had better go to the dealers and buy some for yourselves." And while they went to buy it, the bridegroom came, and those who were ready went with him into the wedding banquet, and the door was shut. Later, the other bridesmaids came also saying, "Lord, Lord, open to us." But he replied, "Truly I tell you, I do not know you. Keep awake, therefore, for you know neither the day nor the hour." So, question to think about. What does God require of us that we must seek, keep, and maintain, not from others, nor, stuff we get from Amazon, but from the Spirit? What does the oil of this parable represent for us? Is it faith? Is it the light of Christ? Is it a morality? What does it mean for us to keep our lamps trimmed and burning? Now, the difference between these two groups of bridesmaids involves their preparedness, their readiness, their anticipation of what they're going to need for when the bridegroom arrives, regardless of how long he's delayed. I mean, we have 5 of them who prepared for this. He might be late. It could happen. So they, made allowances. And the others didn't. They just assumed everything would be on time and run on schedule and it'll be great. No problem. Readiness to meet Christ begins with filtering out the distractions that beckon to us to look elsewhere for purpose and affirmation and security and abundant life. The question isn't so much what the oil represents, but rather what do we need to be ready to meet Jesus at any given moment? What is it that we need to focus? What is it that we need to, set aside? What do we need to keep our eye on? What do we need to have ready? The right focus is more akin to wisdom. It's looking to Jesus. I mean, it reveals what's required, what we need to prepare for. Remembering who we serve shows us the substance. I mean, it shows us of what we need to do, of what we need to make, of who we need to be. Whatever our oil is, whatever that thing is for us, it's not something we can just buy or barter for or exchange. It's not something we can necessarily share because it isn't the same for all of us. But it will make an impact. The light of one lamp can't be given, the oil that it needs can't be given to all those who lack oil. But that one lamp can still brighten the room. So we need to think about what is it that we need to bring to the table? What is it we need to prepare? What is it we need to be ready for? If you think about it in terms of what are you running low on right now? Now, normally, the kinds of things I would say, if this was a normal time, would be, gosh, I don't have enough time at home. I'm always on the go. I'm always running. I never get to see my kids. We never sit down and have dinner together. I never see anybody. That's usually where my lack is because I'm running around doing things. Now, suddenly, that's all flipped on its head. And what I'm lacking right now is quiet, is time completely to myself because I don't have any. In the normal course of my day, I might spend even hours in the car driving from one thing to another. And that's time I have to myself, time I can just think, time I can reflect. You know, sometimes, a lot of times I'll call my mother, but you know, just time I can do things I want to do. I don't have to do anything I don't want. But the problem now is that I don't have that option. I don't have that luxury. Now is not a time to be just out joyriding, you know, doing whatever. And I'm now in a house filled with other people all the time. Everybody's here. Everybody's working from home with one exception. Everybody's in the house all the time. And so I'm finding that I don't have time on my own to just be quiet, to just think. Because on top of all this, it's just getting inundated with messages and email and text messages and Facebook messages and even more messages and people wanting stuff and phone calls, and because they know I'm home. So it's a nonstop barrage. The other day, my husband and I celebrated our wedding anniversary, and he had already scheduled to not work that day. So he just didn't log into any of his stuff, and it was no big deal. Nobody called him. Nobody from work contacted him. Nobody tried to find him. I had done the same thing. I didn't log into any of my stuff on that Friday. I didn't do any of that either. I had almost 90 emails on one email account by the next morning. And I have 3 other emails. That was just one of them. 90. I don't even know where to start. I mean, the idea of what do I need? What do I need to make sure I have enough of? What do I need to make sure I get rid of is really important. So what am I running low on right now? I think it's just rest. I think it's just quiet. I think it's just the ability to just be and not have to talk to anybody and not have to answer email and just to be for a couple of days. I think it's going to be really nice after Easter. I'm going to really hope I can pull that off. So what you're running low on, how do you replenish it? Do you relate more to the wise or to the foolish bridesmaids? When have you felt more like the wise bridesmaids, and why? Now, when all of this was coming, you know, you could see that the restrictions were coming. I went out and I don't want to say I did panic buying, but we have a son who is mentally handicapped, and Chad's real picky about what he eats. I wasn't as worried about the rest of us, but I knew if I don't have some stuff that Chad wants to eat, he's going to be a total grouch and no one's going to want to be with him, and we're going to be stuck in the house with him. So I went out and bought Chad stuff and just, it's set aside for if and when we need it, because I knew I needed to be prepared, because part of what makes our household work is keeping Chad calm and occupied, which is sad to say, but that's part of what has to happen, because when he has a meltdown, it's not fun for anybody. Do you often think about Jesus' promised return? If you knew you would meet Jesus today, how would you prepare? I think that's an interesting question, because if we're conscious about it, if we really think about it, we should live every day that way. And we should live not just that it's Jesus' promised return, but we should live every day like it's the last time we'll see folks. Because if we do that, then we won't have broken relationships. We would make a point of making sure people knew how we really felt, that people knew that we cared about them, that people knew they were important to us. And so I think that's something we need to take a look at and think about. And this is a passage to help us reflect on that. So I hope that this was helpful. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.